Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? It's the film podcast. Welcome to another episode. I am excited. As always,
never has there been a better intro ever.
Yeah.
To anything.
I'm still myself. I have gone through many existential dilemmas throughout the last few weeks, but I'm myself still.
Haven't we all?
Yeah,
that's good.
Again, joined by Marvin. Thanks, Marvin.
Hello.
And today's guest, old Marcel.
That's me.
Welcome, dude.
Oh, thanks, man. It's great to be here. I've heard podcasts before, so I know how to say how grateful I am to be here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. There it is. All right.
We're using it. Okay, we're using it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The cool thing is that this will lay a fourth track just for the soundboard.
Oh, okay.
So we can take it out or whatever.
So you can lay a bunch of things down, and then we can react to them, and you can take it out completely. And then people
make us look like crazy people.
That's right, dude.
All right, excellent.
Play ball.
Thanks for joining us. We're going to have some fun. We're going to recommend some movies. We're going to talk about, what are we talking about today, Marvin?
Well, I just figured, movies you would watch with friends, because they're kind of shitty and funny to watch. You don't have to pay attention that closely. But now that we're in quarantine, these are basically Zoom movies.
Yeah. That will be the title of this episode, Zoom movies. I hope that people reading the title of this episode don't think it's like sequel to the movie Zoom with Tim Allen.
Yeah. Or just fast movies.
Or
Zoom movies, cool.
Or movies based on the classic kids television show Zoom.
Or movies with a lot of zooms in it.
Yeah. These are all wrong.
There are no Soderbergh movies in this entire list. Yeah. I would also like to point out briefly that the gummy bear that I just ate had something crunchy in it. I'm pretty sure it's glass, but I'm not 100% sure, and I will let you know as I figure that out.
Okay, let us keep us abreast of the situation
on my end
as the bleeding begins or ends.
Hold your breast. All right. Before we get into the damn list, is there anything you guys want to confess you guys watched? Anything good? Anything bad? Anything weird?
Yeah.
What have you watched lately, dude?
Dude, I guess the beginning of this would be my distinction between like a fun bad movie and a just like a hard to watch bad movie is like a fun bad movie needs to be something genuine. Like they genuinely thought this was a good idea, like The Room or Cats. Like it's something that someone believed in and you see it, but they just made the wrong choices. It's just not working out. Versus a movie where like they just didn't care. So we have been watching through all of the Twilight movies, backward, like Memento.
Oh, how many are there?
There's 4, I believe. Right?
Just so many, just more than should ever have been allowed to exist. And I found really how there just isn't that much pleasure in watching them because like no one cared. No one like it's like watching. It's literally like watching Robert, whatever the fuck his name is, Robert Pattinson. All right, you're gonna have to edit that, but
I'm not gonna edit it.
Nope. It's all
here's
the thing about it.
Give me a soundboard. But it's literally like watching Robert Pattinson like drown slowly in a pool by himself. Like he's the only person who's doing anything worth anything, and everybody else is like, "Who cares? We're printing money. Let's go home." But that's what we've been watching. That's been our big Zoom like undertaking.
Can I make a confession? I have actually seen at least a majority of part 2 of the Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn Part 2, I should say.
Breaking Dawn Part 2. Okay.
Yeah, the very last movie.
Not the second movie. Vampires are also and werewolves, and it's Twilight 2.
No, I've just seen the very last one because someone told me there's a scene where they all fight on a frozen lake, and it's horrifically violent. and I I wanted to know what that would look like.
It is
in a Twilight movie.
There's no blood because they're all statues or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like they tear heads off and shit. But it's all very dry. It's as joyless as every other minute of that entire series. Yeah, and then spoiler alert, it was all a fucking dream, which makes me go, fuck.
Yeah. So on the last one, I was also drunk, but I ended up just smashing my finger in the security gate. And I'd like to say it was just to feel something. It's not. It was an accident. But I was watching a Twilight movie at the time, so I think I can blame it on that.
This is a good series to watch. If you haven't watched it, I actually haven't seen any of the movies. Not even like 5 minutes of them. I just somehow avoided them, like The Matrix. Like meaning I did the Matrix move to avoid them.
Okay.
I was gonna say because you avoided the Matrix.
Yeah, not like I avoided watching The Matrix. Yeah, but I think it'd be a good idea to watch them not in order, but not even backwards. Don't just randomly watch whatever is on TV. That'd be interesting to be like, I don't know the timeline of this. Oh, she's having a baby. Oh, cool. I assume she has a baby, right? Because it's 4 movies.
Well, this is a baby, and then a werewolf.
I wouldn't call it a baby.
Some sort of tiny creature, and then that's definitely illegal. And then a very fully grown werewolf man falls in love with it. Mm-hmm. And even the characters in the movie go, "That's disgusting." So
I love that.
Yeah.
The first 3 were all, at least I think, if not directed but written by Melissa Rosenberg, who, if you remember, is the showrunner of Jessica Jones. So what a huge upgrade she got.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like Twilight is the only series in which a grown man can look at a newborn and say, "I'm gonna fuck that baby," and it's still PG-13. It's still PG-13.
Yeah.
So
they're like, we'll allow it. They're like, yeah, but there's other movies that aren't that violent, and like, there's like, There Will Be Blood is fine. There's only, they say fuck twice.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's rated R, dude.
Yeah.
They say fuck twice. It's just they're just like, it's dry. It's hard to watch for the kids. They just want vampire heads being torn off with no blood, and also people who just really want to fuck babies. It's a weird thing. It's a new teenage thing. Yeah. We don't get them.
Why is that a PG-13 and then like The Matrix is a hard R? And it's just like, because I was talking about this with Zachary. It's like, how is The Matrix a hard R and the Taken movies are like PG-13? It's like,
because no one eats a baby in Taken. That's what that, or even implies baby eating.
Babies. Marvin, did you watch anything that you want to confess?
Well, it's not so much that I watch anything, as it's more of like what I've been watching for the past like year and a half. It's a show on Netflix, but really it's from Japan. It's called Terrace House. It's like just imagine Big Brother, except everyone is an incredibly polite Japanese person. And so basically nothing happens, and it's a good thing to watch while you're eating food and don't have to pay attention, because you look up at the screen and it's the 3 girls in their room and they're going, "Did you talk to him? Yeah, he was really funny when we went on that movie theater date, and even when I was saying I don't like the movie, he was so nice. He asked me if I was cold." and like the
like
big
a show
moment,
you would watch.
And the big moments are like, "Oh my God, she held his hand," or "Oh my God, they're kissing near the elevator. That's crazy." And that's the climax of a season.
Oh my God,
beautiful. It's like the climax of 7th grade.
No, you're not even wrong. Like the crazy part. Okay, it's funny because it's also like they're Japanese. They're very like reserved in Japanese ways. So then there's this one season where it's called like Kids in the Big City or something, where they're just in Tokyo. And the big reveal is that when when they leave, they bring in it has to be 6 people in a house, right? So when one of them left, the person they got in to replace him was an American, and they were like, "Oh, he's he's like kind of brown and and like and they're like, he's really cool, but I don't know, he just seems so aloof because he's an American. And then that went off so well that the actual season after that was like, oh, we're gonna take this to Hawaii, and then it's just a bunch of Japanese people in Hawaii, but now they're interacting with like people who are also from Hawaii.
Yeah, now you're speaking my language. That's the one.
And they're just like getting there's one guy the wildest lady is like, I'm just trying to hook up with these guys so I can sell houses, and that's just like completely like, because she's like a real estate agent or something, but she's also Miss Hawaii or something.
Well, I mean, it's a very small island. There's not a lot of, there's got to be overlap somewhere.
Yeah, so she's like, I'm hooking up with these guys so I can sell houses to them, and the rest of the cast is like, oh my god, you're a monster. And that's Terrace House.
Oh my god! By the name of it, I thought it was going to be something crazy. I was like, "Oh man, what is this?"
It's like
at first I thought it was Terrorist House, and I was like, "That's fucking
that's
cool."
That's a joke I make with Sarah all the time. I just go, "Want to watch more Terrorist House?" But then it's funny. At the start of every season, it's all six. It's an empty house, and all six people need to go in and introduce themselves, right? So they all come in one by one, no music, completely silent, and they just go, "Oh, there's a house here." Next person comes in. "Oh, hello. Quietly sit on the couch. I'm so-and-so. Who are you?" "Oh, I'm so-and-so. Thank you. What do you do? How old are you?" "Oh, you're very old. Very old." And she's like 28.
I gotta watch the show. I watched. I also have been watching a reality TV show.
News?
Well, no. I stopped. I only read the news. I can't watch it.
Yeah.
I started watching maybe like 5-6 nights ago this show because I usually look through the top 10. Now Netflix has a top 10. Like what's like the top 10 things in the US. And I noticed that number 1 was Too Hot to Handle. It's a reality TV show. It's got 8 episodes. So I'm like, well, it's not like I'm committing to like 22 episodes of a season. It's just 8 episodes, easy to digest. I'm gonna see what's up.
People who like juggle lava rocks or something.
Well, here's the premise. It's like a they invite all these hot people to this island, right? And
all right, we already figured it out. All right, here we go.
Yeah. He's like, we invite all these hot people from all over the world to this island, and these are people that are really horny as shit, dude. Like really young, horny, hot people.
So all American.
No, I'm surprised there was like it was like an Irish girl, British. There's a little bit of everything. There's only one American girl.
Wow.
And then they invite them all, and everyone thinks it's gonna be like a fucking orgy. And everyone's like, I can't wait to sleep with this person. Person. And then the first day they're like, oh yeah, by the way, nobody can sleep with anybody. No one can kiss anybody. There's no kissing. There's basically just barely touching.
And we're only going to play Boggle the whole
time. Well, and it's crazy because people are like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, there's no, it's like, yeah, there's no kissing, no touching. And there's a grand prize at the end. That's $100,000.
Oh.
And for every violation of whether it's kissing or anything else, sex, whatever, we're going to deduct money from the winnings, from the prize.
Oh.
So I was like, man, this show's kind of got me. It's got gambling. It's the form of gambling.
You love gambling.
I do.
But if there's that one contestant who doesn't want to win, but just wants to fuck a lot, you know,
exactly. They're going to mess it up. Me too. They're going to mess it up. Yeah.
Not a gambler with anything other than the hepatitises.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, these people are so shallow. I fucking hate them. And then like fast forward to the 8th episode, I was like, man, this guy really fucking grew, man. This guy, look at this guy. It's a horrible show, but it's trashy. It's exactly what I needed. Something not to think about. It was fun. It's 8 episodes. What the hell, dude? You know?
Oh, even for a reality show, it's a quick binge.
Yeah. So I'm sure they'll do a season 2 called Quarantine Island. You can't touch anybody because you'll get sick.
Yeah, but everybody's in bubbles. They're just knocking against each other, just trying to touch each other.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, let's get into the list, man. Let's get into it.
Let's get in there.
Marcel, you want to go first since you're a guest, or you want to go after Marvin?
The esteemed guest,
Marcel. I'll go. Why not?
All right.
So, kicking it off, you're sitting at home and you're like, you want to watch something with some friends and you want to have some drinks. You want to kick back and you want to enjoy yourself. There's obviously 2 ways to go. There are the terrible, terrible movies where everybody gets to laugh, and the fun, good movies where everybody gets to enjoy themselves and also feel good about themselves at the end of the night, not because they're better than something that they watched. I'm not going to go for that just right off the bat, because that would be too easy. So what I would say is, like, for my first choice, I would just say ninja movies as a just overarching theme, which are a lot on Prime. Amazingly, Prime is like the prime location for ninja movies. Like, they've got the Shokasugi movies. They've got, thank you very much. They got Ninja 3, The Domination. These are on my list. The American Ninja series, which, if you don't know,
hold up. They have all of them?
Dude, they've got all of them.
Dude.
Damn. All of them.
Yes. All right.
And so the American Ninja movies are... The first one's not even really a ninja movie. It's like this weird Vietnam movie, sort of, where like this guy's like overseas and he's in the army and he's doing his thing, but he also like, you get the idea that he knows karate, but like you don't. I feel like he just kind of does it on other army guys where they're like, hey, this guy knows karate. And then he flips him over a table and they're like, oh my God, he actually knows karate.
You're talking about American Ninja?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But that's the second one.
We've been doing the Cannes film series, and we cover that one, and it's a beautiful, beautiful movie with a high-pitched voice man called Michael Dudikoff.
He's like, hey, guys, come on over here. We're all ninjas. I am 96 years old, and my balls never dropped once, not even half the way down. But like those are excellent. Like any of those choices, and you don't have to do an order. That's the thing. Yeah. You can do it. You can memento it. You can jump all over the place. You could just watch the second one, which, in my opinion, is the best
in any order. Nor is like Ninja 3 to Domination has nothing to do with any of the other ninja movies, and is arguably the one you should start with.
Yes, definitely. I mean, it has nothing to do with any ninja movies that have ever existed.
Yeah,
because it's
another movie we covered in the Cannes film series, which is a combination of both a ninja movie, an erotic thriller, and a horror movie. It's got a little bit of The Exorcist. It's got a little bit of a little hot and heavy. This is the movie where one of the lady in it, the main lady, ninja, she gets possessed by an old ninja spirit, and she pours tomato juice over her chest to seduce the detective.
Out of nowhere, because he's like he's brought in to the apartment, so that's an invitation to something. But like very quickly, she like mounts him and starts pouring
tomato juice.
Yeah, she takes the whole "it's about the implication" thing just a little too far.
And we know out of all the juices, tomato juice is the most erotic.
Well, clearly. I mean, half the planet feels that way because half the planet is over 70 years old. And
she also has like the funnest apartment in the world. It's like there's like arcade machine in it. She has I forget what I think it's like. It's just like a regular like gym room, like a gym locker in there, and it's all over the place.
Yeah, she's got the equipment, she's got the whole thing. But it's like that's the classic like late 80s, early 90s, where like every apartment in a movie or house had to be like the ultimate thing. Like in Ninja Turtles, they don't go into like the foot soldier's place and find something decent. No, it's like skate ramps and just like cigarettes and Sam Rockwell and arcade machines.
Yeah.
Like that's
and
what
cigarettes.
Giving out menthol,
all the cigarettes, menthol or regular. You know what I mean? It's all the same thing. But all of that stuff's great. And the one that I found on Netflix that kind of goes with that theme is Ninja Assassin, which is the kind of the epitome of pulpy ninja movies, but it's in that it's made lovingly. The ninja half of it, because like Sho Kosugi's still in it. He plays like the old ninja master who's like been betrayed, and he's after Rain, who's the main character. And like, but then the other half of it is this boring cop drama where there's like a cop who's like, I am always on the hard cases and no one ever believes me. And then all of a sudden he finds a ninja, and then there's just machine gun fire and ninja stars that fly like bullets. I don't know. It's kind of fantastic. I mean, when we saw that in the theater, we all had like a wish list going in. Like, I got to see a guy get pulled up into the ceiling and then rain down in pieces. I got to see a guy get chopped and then split in half. I got to see a guy get riddled with ninja stars, whatever it was. It happens in the first 5 minutes, and it was beautiful. It was like the only movie that has paid for itself in the first 5 minutes, and the rest of it was all bonus.
Yeah, it's the choreography is almost too good for the movie. Like,
yeah.
It's, well, I mean, you'd expect that from like, it's not the Wachowskis didn't direct it, but their first AD did. He got promoted and decided to was given the directing reins for that one. And yeah, it's a good fun go at it. You know,
speaking of good movies, this is gonna be a good movie to stream with friends.
I like that you segued good movies out of Ninja Assassin. I just want to say that. I think it's fantastic.
I mean, it's a good movie to stream with friends. I mean, it's that new Chris Helmsworth movie that's going to be on Netflix. I think it's called Extraction. It looks bonkers.
Yeah,
that's going to be a good one to stream. Marvin, what's your first pick?
So I was thinking of a movie where if you start watching the movies with friends over Zoom and you just want to have a good time, you gotta kind of have something that's it's fun but safe. You know, it's familiar. People won't be mad at everyone. It's like, you know, or is everyone okay with Shake Shack? Okay, everyone's okay with Shake Shack. Let's go. Right. This is like the Shake Shack of this type of movie, which is National Treasure. Because National Treasure,
that's a really good one.
Because
that's great.
Because it's like, you know, Nicolas Cage. Okay, let's set the stage. It's 3 years after 9/11, right? America wants hyper patriotic movies to kind of bounce itself back. So in comes National Treasure, where the main character is literally named Benjamin Franklin Gates.
Yep.
And the entire point of National Treasure is for Nicolas Cage to take the premise extremely seriously and to explore American history in the most bonkers way possible, to find the biggest treasure possible, and then at the end go, you know what? You guys can have it. I'll just take 1%. And then he lives in Benjamin Franklin's house or something and then calls it a day. It's got great action. It's got that classic Jerry Bruckheimer action, not directed by Jerry Bruckheimer.
Yeah. James Turteltaub, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
no, John Turteltaub. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, very much in the same vein. And Nicolas Cage, you know, for all the strange career he has had, he always takes every role hyper seriously. So when he's doing that monologue at the beginning after they're inside the Charlotte and he's like connecting the pieces of where where he has to find the Declaration of Independence because of this piece of paper he found. He takes it completely seriously, and the movie benefits. The one thing I always like to joke about with my friends is that, you know how in the trailer for National Treasure, it always the middle climax part of the trailer, he goes, I have to steal the Declaration of Independence, right? So when the second trailer came out for National Treasure 2, my friend and I were in a theater when we first saw the trailer, and we were like, "Oh shit, it's following the same formula as the first trailer for good reason, right?" And then you see the president angle start coming up, and we were going, "Oh my god, I really hope he goes, I have to become the president of the United States." But unfortunately, doesn't happen. In the sequel, he has to just kidnap him, and only for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, which is definitely better. Hot take. I definitely like the sequel better.
Oh,
Really? I like the first one better.
Well,
I like the first one better
just
because the second one, I think when I watch it, I go, okay. It's like how Jerusha brought up about rom-coms last week, where she was like, oh, everything, all that thing that was wonderful that happened in the first movie, it's all bullshit. None of it was real. Everyone hates each other again.
yeah. It's the second one just is like it's that mounting action thing where they like they pull they say like how do we one up ourselves, and then they do it in the like kidnapping the president in the fucking like in the mines built under the White House. Like it's awesome. It is. But it's definitely stupider for sure.
I wish the thing is with the president kidnapping, I wish they had to kidnap him for longer because they only kidnap him for about 5 minutes and then they go, "Thank you for the information, Mr. President. We'll be on our way." It's like they're treating him like some sort of like guest cameo when it's
they should have really included him in the treasure hunting part of the movie.
Yeah, I wish they had to bring him along or something. And like the whole, the classic, I don't want to go with you guys, but you're forcing me to. And along the way they bond and then he bonds with the president.
Yeah. Bruce Greenwood, it's weird because they play it because like Bruce Greenwood plays the president and he's not a big enough name to be the cameo of the movie. Like you'd think the president would be someone more special, but he even seems like, but at the end he's like, I'm proud of you for not kidnapping me further, but I'm also bummed out that I have to go back and be the president. I kind of wanted to do this adventure.
I
know. A little crazy trivia from this movie. Nicolas Cage is a high school friend of John Turteltaub.
Oh,
that makes sense because like he's been in 3 or 4 movies of his. I know that he did the Apprentice. 2. Yeah, Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah,
where they killed the stuntman.
More trivia for the people that love sweet movies, like all of us. John Turteltaub directed 3 Ninjas.
Yes, he did.
Shit. Yeah, you're right.
3 Ninjas. He did Cool Runnings, Phenomenon.
Cool Runnings. Oh man, yeah.
Didn't he do Instinct and?
Yeah. And he did the Meg.
He's really like if you think about a lot of directors, he's had a very varied career in his like he's done high action, he's done like very quiet dramas, he's done kids.
He'll
like
do anything.
Kids Home Aloneing, like he doesn't give a shit. He's in.
Yeah. TV. He
directed the Rush Hour TV show.
Yeah.
Really?
He did that. Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Should we not? We shouldn't have. Marvin, forget it. We didn't say that.
I have to watch Rush Hour now.
I wish there was a channel where you could just watch like failed pilots and like the channel would do well. Imagine if you showed like Rush Hour and like just every pilot that never went to series. That just that would, I think you'd get a lot of advertisement out of that channel.
Like Adult Swim does that with their pilots. It's like after the shows fail, they'll still just put them in rotation randomly.
That's it should be.
Yeah.
Well, then going with your theme, this was farther in my list, but I'm going to move it up just so the theme continues. I also picked a Nicolas Cage movie because that's just, if you want to have fun, if you want to go to a good place, you throw on some Nicolas Cage.
Yes. Of course.
Not Leaving Las Vegas Nicolas Cage, because that will just depress you.
Yeah, that's just sad Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. You put on Con Air.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's funny because both are movies, both National Treasure and Con Air. Both directors went on to direct good old Jason Statham.
Mm-hmm. Now why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
For those who don't know what this is, we should remember to describe these movies for people who haven't seen them and want to see them. A newly parolee ex-con, former U.S. Ranger Cameron Poe, finds himself trapped in a prisoner transport plane when the passenger seize control. That's all you really need to know. Story wise, you need to know a lot of things about this movie. But story wise,
the passengers are just like the craziest cast.
Yeah. I'm gonna just start. It starts off John Malkovich as a leader. right?
Yeah.
Cyrus the Virus. And then Nicolas Cage's friend, Baby O, who is a diabetic and needs insulin throughout the whole goddamn movie.
Yeah.
He's
Just
the
a
ticking
tough-
time bomb of the movie.
Yeah. Ving Rhames is in this. Dave Chappelle.
Yep.
Steve Buscemi.
Hell
Danny
yeah, Steve
Trejo,
Buscemi's character. Just, yeah.
MC Gainey.
The Boosh is the fucking dark part of the movie where you're like, this is the guy that I don't want to like at this point. But he's Steve Buscemi, so you still love him. You're just like, fuck, I don't know. He's Steve Buscemi.
Yeah. He gets away, right? Like, am I going crazy thinking that he gets away in the movie?
He does to an extent. His like, it's creepy as shit. It's just
I
like
think he escapes and becomes a gambler or something, or like I forget.
It's unclear, but he escapes.
And then he shows up in Rounders.
Yeah.
The unofficial sequel to Con Air.
Yeah.
Con Air verse.
This is God, John Cusack in a Jerry Bruckheimer produced movie. I wish John Cusack did more action. He was good in this. I wish he did more movies in general. He kind of like fell off.
I mean, honestly, like once he started doing direct to video shit, and then he did The Raven. That was it. Like The Raven, which is funny because that was James McTeague who did Ninja Assassin.
Yeah, and
like The Raven was his swan song. It was like, there's nothing left for you after this, dude. It's only B movies.
Well, I would say though, John Cusack does give an amazing performance in what was it called? It's the Beach Boys movie.
Yes.
Not the Beach Boys, but specifically Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
What was it called?
Love and Mercy. Song. That's it.
Love and Mercy. Love and Mercy. Love and Mercy, honestly, was like one of the best movies of that year, and it got like almost no credit for how good it was. And then John Cusack in particular. I mean, like, okay, so like John Cusack's only half to perform because Paul Dano plays Brian Wilson from the past, but the John Cusack part, he kills it. Like it's amazing, and it makes you wonder why that wasn't his comeback. And part of it's because the movie just had like zero exposure.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is like John Cusack is awesome, and there was never like all of the whenever you think about John Cusack, you don't think about something bad. You're like, it's Say Anything, it's High Fidelity, it's it's like it's all of these movies. It's Grosse Pointe Blank. It's like all of this stuff that is specific to your memory. Yeah. 2012, you got Grifters. You got, is it Serenity? Like, that's what I was going to say, but it is Serenity, right? Like the one.
Are you thinking of Singularity?
Is it? It's the one where he's with, all right, forget it. I'm done.
Well, Singularity being like the sci-fi one?
No, it's the John Cusack one. It's like him and Underworld lady, who for some reason I can't remember her name. Glorious, beautiful actress.
Oh,
Kate Beckinsale. Serendipity. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That is not his finest moment, but still, like it's still like he still kills it. He's still charming as shit.
The last good thing he did was probably Hot Tub Time Machine.
And like, really doesn't that just seal a career right there?
And he was really good, and then he refused to come back for the sequel. He's like, nah, not coming back for that shit. It's like,
which is funny because like I'm pretty sure I think it's called The Frozen Ground. It was like a few years ago. Yeah, with Nicolas Cage. There's like a crossover there where Nicolas Cage was like, "Let me Sherpa you into the ways of B movie making."
Yeah.
The ways of making money very fast.
He's like, no one cares. No one cares. As long as you show up the set.
Apparently he was in Hot Tub Time Machine 2 at one point, but then his cameo was deleted.
Oh.
Yeah, so he might have been willing to come back, but then they were like, I don't know, is this John Cusack character worth the credit anymore? I don't know. And then,
yeah.
So there we go. I'll go for my next choice also in a very weird way, just following this trail, because I mean, any good list is going to have a Nicolas Cage movie on it. And any good list with a Nicolas Cage movie is going to have something produced by Bruckheimer. And as much as it was a battle for me between Face Off, where he gives a more gonzo performance, and The Rock, I mean, The Rock is not only one of my favorite all-time action movies, but is a great movie to enjoy with friends and also just to enjoy. Like, that's that renaissance of Nick Cage before he like really threw it off the rails, and he was still bananas, but it was in a serious way. Where like
he was still like taken seriously. Like
yeah,
no one was making fun
he's
of him.
supposed to be like the hero character who he just gets upset. Like you're supposed to be with him. He's mad now, so he's gonna say, "What in the name of Zeus's butthole?" Like that's just gonna be stuff that he yells, and it's like it was before we knew that this was like the bit. It was like when it was still serious, and like that is so. For those of you who don't know, The Rock I think it's pretty easy to sum up. It's basically Nick Cage is a chemist for the FBI, I believe it is, and a guy called General Hummel, who is played by Ed Harris in an awesome performance. Ed Harris steals these rockets full of VX nerve gas, and he points them at San Francisco, and he's on Alcatraz, and he says, "I'm going to fire these rockets unless these men who've died in the war get their money." And basically the only way into Alcatraz, it's a bunch of vets. It's him. They're just like, it's this like fortified location no one can get into unless you get Sean Connery, who is John Mason, who's the only guy who's ever successfully escaped from Alcatraz.
Who's basically 007.
Yeah, that's why they cast him.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're just like, we just need James Bond to get back into Alcatraz, and like he could do that.
Yeah. And in fact, it would have been amazing. Look, this movie's already cool as hell. It's badass. But imagine like they straight up call him James Bond. Like they're like, James Bond, he's the only guy to escape Alcatraz. And like that's why he's in jail, because he's got all these secrets and he's got chlamydia from all these ladies he's banged.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You piece of shit.
It would make sense that he has like a daughter that he never fucking talked to, because he's just banging whores everywhere. And, you know,
and of course she's Claire Forlani. Of course she's gorgeous, because like she's got to be. It's one of the Bond girls' kids.
Yeah. It would have been awesome, and I guess I get it. They couldn't get the rights to the goddamn name, but damn it, they got so close. Close.
And so it's not to mention this is also early Michael Bay. Like Michael Bay, when he was developing, like, you know, there's a car chase between John Mason, who's Sean Connery, in a Hummer, chasing, and like Nick Cage is chasing him in a Ferrari, because like why wouldn't you, over the San Francisco hills, and there's a very specific point when the guy who's Humvee, John Mason stole the Humvee from a guy at, you know, like a valet, like you would, of course.
Yeah.
And the guy like is yelling in some like accent, "You stole my Humvee." And he's like, "I'm only borrowing your Humvee." And he hangs up, and it's the middle of the car chase. It's just an aside, because why not? But this was like the beginning of Michael Bay really honing in that, like the car chase cam, when it was like, just have a dolly go in front of a car, shake the thing around, and zoom in and zoom out. Just do snap zooms, and it looks exactly like you're moving really fast. Really fast.
Yeah.
I think it's also when he started developing the Michael Bay mix, where it's like I forget what the joke exactly was, but apparently a sound mixer was like, Michael Bay, whenever he's in Bay for a sound mix, he'll see like a dog running across the street and go, "I have to hear the bell in that dog's collar." Like, in spite of the explosions.
I mean, that makes awesome sense, man.
So of all the Michael Bay movies and all the Nick Cage movies, I narrowed it down as an apologist for both of them, and I put it both in. I just jumped right in the same column with it.
We didn't talk about this in our Netflix recommendations, but there's the new Michael Bay movie. What is it? The
Six Underground.
Six Underground.
That is really good, and it's on Netflix. It's streaming on Netflix.
Fantastic.
That's a hell of an intro scene.
It's a 20-minute car chase with amazing geography, and just like crazy things happening in it, where like the setup is so, like, you know how long it takes to set up a shot, and there are shots that are literally like hour-long setups, 2 hour, 3 hour long setups, and it's just so some guy can run by a camera on a rooftop. Like it doesn't even matter. It's just a cutaway. It's half a second, and it like that's that thing that I think that makes it special.
Yeah. And we should say The Rock has so many goddamn great actors in it.
Yeah.
We'll just run the list real quick. Nicolas Cage, Ed Harris, David Morse, William Forsythe, Michael Biehn, goddamn
Michael
Terminator,
Biehn.
dude. Vanessa Marcel, John C. McGinley, Tony Todd,
dude.
He's
Back in the day,
dude.
Back in the day.
Who else? Claire Forlani, the guy, I forget his name. He's the guy who's in High Fidelity. Is it Todd Luizzo? Is that who it is?
Might be. I mean, Bokeem Woodbine is in it. That was like at the beginning of his career.
Yeah. So many people. This is a great goddamn movie, dude. That's a good pick, dude.
Thanks, pal.
Marvin, what's your next recommendation?
Okay, so now that you've kind of gotten people into they're used to it now, the Zoom watch. So now you start getting him into the weirder shit. And then to me, this is one of the most fantastic because when I went to UCSD back in the day, we used to go to the local landmark, and they used to have midnight movies every Saturday. And this is the movie I've enjoyed the most ever watching with an audience, which is Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
And
yes, Marvin.
So
Preach.
I specifically Breakin' 2 because Breakin's fine. It's fun. It's okay. But Breakin' 2 is the movie where, just for the general premise is, there's a bunch of dancers. You got Kelly, who's from like a rich family, and then you have Orlando, aka Ozone, and Tony, aka Turbo, and they're from the streets, and they're all dancers, and they're all hanging out, and they gotta stop the local community center from being demolished by dancing, and that's the movie.
This is another canon movie. It's beautiful. It's the same premise as Lambada, which was also produced by Canon Films.
And it's like it's almost one of the original prototypical what people think of as bad movies. Like Electric Boogaloo is a joke, right? Like you say that, like you go, Terminator 2, Electric Boogaloo, etc. But also like the premise of we got to get together to save a community center kind of originates from this as well. Guy who plays Turbo, Ozone, Adolfo Quinones. He always makes me laugh because he's like very serious the whole movie. But then he's always wearing this little baby corn earring the whole time. So as he's like trying to like preach and like tell people, we gotta put down these nunchucks we found in the middle of the street, and instead of fighting each other through dance, we should be working together through dance. And you see, and the little baby corn earring is swinging the whole time, and you just can't watch anything else while that's happening. And it also has a really great scene where Turbo, I forget her name, but he falls in love with one of like the rival gang, and in order to woo her, he goes into like a house with her, and it's the house from one of the Friday the 13th,
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street movies, where the entire set rotates. So in Nightmare on Elm Street, it's used for horrific effect, and here it's used so that he can dance on the ceiling.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's virtual insanity.
Yeah, it's amazing.
If you pay attention in that scene, because they did use it after Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one.
Yeah.
One of the walls, because all the walls have like pictures and like paintings. One of the pictures on the wall, if you look closely, it's Freddy Krueger. Yeah.
That's excellent. And also Ice-T shows up at the end.
Yeah.
To help to do the big rap with to help the community center, and all the adults who were saying, you kids you're wasting your time, you're never gonna do this. They go, you did it, you kids. I should have believed in you from the start.
Should have.
I
Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo.
This is a great movie because people could get up and get like snacks and drinks and it's
Yeah.
fine. There's no pressure to like you're gonna miss the fucking crucial plot
it's
point.
similar to National Treasure, where you're like, you can walk
Yeah.
away and you come back and you're like, oh, it's fine. Because unlike National Treasure, you might still have to go, okay, why are they chasing? In Breaking 2, you'll come back and they'll go, why are they dancing? And they go, the movie never gave a reason. So it doesn't matter why you left.
Yeah, the question is, why are they not dancing at any other point in this movie?
This is a good spot to talk about two apps that I've tested a bunch of apps to see what works the best when it comes to like streaming movies with friends, because for the most part, if you do the old we're gonna stream it and like put it on and then we'll hit play, and then to sync it with Zoom, it's really hard because you'll hear an echo. It's a shitstorm. The best thing to do, and it just bugs me. Like I've tried to do it and like, okay, I'll pause it to catch up, and it just someone always the sound just sometimes slips, and I hated that. It bugs the shit out of me. But there's a good app called Screener. And it basically, you could watch Netflix and video chat at the same time. So you have your window and you have little circles with all the face chats in them. So you don't have to like look away to another screen. Like, so sometimes if you're zooming while watching, you have to look into like another system to look to see what their people are reacting to.
Yeah.
And it's built in. So if you can plug in your computer to your TV, or just watch it on your fucking computer. Who cares? It's a fucking computer.
I mean,
Screener works really well.
Yeah. I've actually been doing, when I've been watching stuff with my friend, one of the movies on this list I was actually watching with my friend Dan. And we actually did a setup where we used Parsec and just talked over Discord. You guys know about Parsec?
You are a big disciple of Parsec. Well, tell us about it.
Yeah, well, Parsec, it was originally designed for gaming, like to let people like share one screen and game from anywhere with like very little lag. And it's great. It turns out it's great for even work from home. Like a lot of people who need to work on like an editing station that's somewhere else. Parsec's actually fast enough to use it as long as you're both on a PC. And then also it's great for just watching movies together because they just see your screen. And then the sync is pretty much perfect the entire time. The only other thing is you just need Discord on the side or something, but that's always fine. And there's all sorts of different ways. When we were watching Ozark with some friends, we did Netflix Party, and that was okay. Yeah. It wasn't the best, but it was fine.
Netflix Party is just like chat. Meaning it's it's not video chat. It's just like old timey.
Yeah,
basically like texting.
Yeah, and like it kind of like doesn't work super well. But it's cool. There's all sorts of ways we can do this thing.
Screener works pretty well because I've watched like an hour of something and it's pretty like if it's having trouble like buffering and something, it'll pause it for a bit to catch up and then it'll continue.
Oh, okay. So it's going out of its way to make sure. Hence it's supposed to be for screeners. So so that's good. And then 27 is another app, and you can add the extension to your computer. And if you have, should I put this in? Look, if you download the movies illegally and you both have the file, you can load up the file and it syncs up the files.
So man, everybody's unemployed right now. No one can buy movies.
Yeah. Or one person pay for them and then just share the wealth,
Yeah.
As long as
stream it for your friends. That's what I do.
Yeah.
You just you buy the movie, you throw it on Vudu, and then maybe 250 people have your Vudu account. Maybe that's just what happens. I don't know.
It's fine.
It's gonna be all right.
It's hard times.
Yeah. Just like the movie with Charles Bronson. Which is to watch.
Yes, Death Wish.
All right, Marvin, what's your next? Oh,
I just did mine. So.
Okay, that was yours.
Yeah, you're technically up, but you plugged the software.
Then I'll go with this is a good drinking movie. This is a good movie. It's long. You're gonna get a nice buzz. Look, we have nothing but time right now. We're just stuck at home, so you're gonna burn 3 hours of the day.
Oh boy!
Get yourself some
no.
nachos. Wait. Get yourself some nachos. Sit down. Get yourself some beer because this is a drinking game. Every time someone says "fuck," you have to take a drink of your beer, and I'm talking about Scarface.
Oh, good.
They say "fuck" so many goddamn times.
So many times. It's a comma. It's not even a comma. It's a space between words.
Yeah. I recently rewatched this, and look, I get people have a hard time with this movie because for many reasons, but one of them is that like it's been like it's huge like in like the rap community. Like people fucking love this.
Of
like
course,
drug dealers love this. Everybody.
It's their anthem.
It's the anthem, and I get it. Like, hey, like he comes from nothing. He builds his empire, and like he does a lot of cocaine. I get it, dude. I get it. And he has a huge gun. I get it, but apart from it, I think it's really well done. Like, I mean, the acting is pretty good, but like the accent doesn't hold up. Like that does not hold up at all. but
no one would
besides that,
cast Al Pacino in that way today.
I know. But the acting's pretty cool. Like it just kind of works for the time. It feels like an 80s fever dream.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels like you did too much cocaine and then you which did happen. Like Oliver Stone got really
excess.
high.
It's
really
a good,
high.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Oliver Stone like wrote it high. Brian De Palma directed it high.
Yeah, the movie is basically the epitome of that tray of cocaine that is just a mountain of cocaine.
Yeah,
yeah. Like I said, it's written by Oliver Stone, directed by Brian De Palma. I think I'm a huge Brian De Palma fan. Even the latter stuff that isn't up to par to his earlier work, it still works for me. He has something that I can't describe. He probably won't ever make another movie again. No one will give him money to do it. But he's one of those guys that I always come back to, and I'm like, yeah, this guy. Even with like Snake Eyes, there's always something very cinematic about
Snake
it.
Eyes I actually enjoy
Nick
quite
Cage.
a bit. Yeah,
Nick Cage is it.
Well, Snake Eyes, it's like it's doing the the Rashomon thing, but it's still like so stylish. Like, it's not just taking the Rashomon thing for granted and going, okay, because we're doing Rashomon, we can kind of take it easy and everything else. Brian De Palma's like, I will not take it easy. I will still go out of control with the the first person and the split screening and
the Dutch angles.
Yeah.
What's funny about Snake Eyes is I think it was like the last time we were in a place where we were blissfully unaware, but also regrettably unaware of how fucking nuts Nick Cage was.
Yeah.
Like I think that was the last like Nick Cage is a serious actor movie that happened. Before it was like, wait, he whispers or yells everything? Holy shit, he does. Like,
Scarface is a beautiful movie. It just like it's
a classic too.
Yeah.
And it's also one of those 4K movies where you're like, you're zooming with your family. Let's say you zoom with your family and like your dad's on and you're like, what do you want to watch, Dad? I don't know. And then if you bring up Scarface, he'll be like, "Yeah, I'll watch Scarface."
Yeah, and then halfway he'll come in. Oh, then there's a lot of fucks in this movie.
It's funny because Scarface.
Yeah. You're like, you took me to see this when I was 12.
Fuck yeah, Dad, there sure is.
It's funny because like it does have the feeling of so many fucks, but like it actually isn't even close to being like the top number of fucks in a movie ever. It's like way down the list compared to some other movies.
Yeah. I mean, we've gone pretty off the rails over the last 30 years.
Yeah. It's a good. I used to censor myself, but now I don't. In front of my kid, it's like, it's fine. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. You know what? Like, cursing is like wiping your ass with like silk.
And
it feels good. It feels good.
And if context is right, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, my dad, maybe I was like 10. My dad showed me Taxi Driver, and we're just like, my dad's like, "Don't do that," and I'm like, "Yeah, I won't. This is fucked up.
He was like, yeah, it is. Don't say fuck. Or dude, I don't know. Fuck it.
I get out of the fucking room.
What number are we on? Are we on 4 still?
We're on, it's like 3.
We just did 2 each, I think.
Okay, we've done 2. We finished. Okay, let's bring it down to the next round.
Marcel.
All right, so my next one, and this is one of my all-time favorites in terms of, and this is bad cinema, but like confounding in its own way. But Hard Ticket to Hawaii, directed by Andy Sidaris, starring Playboy models Donna Spear and somebody Marie Carlton. What is it? Hope Marie Carlton.
Mm-hmm.
And I only know them from this. All right. Anyway, but like they're thank you. I didn't know how to call it out. I wasn't like, just give me the drums. Just give me the fucking drums already. Jesus Christ. Play ball. But this is and this is a really bold statement, but this may be one of the earliest shared universes of all time, is the Sidaris verse, where somehow all of these shitty like booby movies have the same shared universe as each other. Like this is the Avengers of Playboy, basically. Like it's what it is. But it's like the confounding thing is it's this dude and his wife, and they wrote these like exploitative, weird action kind of spy erotic thrillers where like they have like these buxom babes and they're always Playboy models or porn stars or something, and their whole thing is like they're the powerful characters in the movie, which is very weird because it's weird to empower someone with exploitation. It's just very, very backward. But I think that Hard Ticket is phenomenally weird and funny and violent and like just filled with nudity. And it's not like, this isn't the watch it with your parents, watch it with your friends who like you don't know well necessarily, unless you want to get to know them a lot better. You get to know anybody a lot better watching Hard Ticket to Hawaii, which we found out watching it in an office with a bunch of people. And that was an interesting experience. But the thing is, it's basically about these 2 women, these 2 secret agents named
Marcel,
Taryn.
Can I give the IMDb synopsis?
Fucking, I hope so.
It's
Go
beautiful.
for it.
Let me just lay it out for you guys.
Okay.
It's beautiful. It is.
A
beautiful.
womanizing private detective is assigned. We couldn't even make it through the first sentence. Is assigned a task to investigate who is behind the high-tech computer technology leaks to the Russians.
Wait, is that Hard Ticket?
That's not Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Isn't that Picasso Trigger?
Did the IMDb fuck up?
No, that's not Picasso
You know
Trigger.
what? It's in. I read the wrong one.
Is that Malibu Express?
Hard Ticket to
Malibu
IMDb.
Yeah.
You've let us down. Hard Ticket to Hawaii is with the secret agent ladies and the cancer-infested rats.
Yeah. Well,
No, so they have. So there's basically the best thing is that the B plot of the movie, or maybe it's the C plot, is basically that there is a poisonous snake that has been released.
No, that's not the B plot. That's the A plot.
Is that really the A plot? Because like it develops, but it takes such a back seat,
It's the final
and then all of a
boss
sudden,
the movie.
yes,
That's true.
But, like it just pops back up randomly, where they're like, oh, we got to stop these drugs and these other
That's the
guys,
drug
and then
dealer
all of a
is the
sudden
B
there's like a
plot.
snake.
For
All right,
whatever
so-
reason, yeah.
all these movies are blending into one. So this is the
Well,
one
they
where
all
like
work for
so
the
this is-
agency. The
this has got-
agency is like is the shield of this fucking weird titty universe that doesn't make any sense.
This movie is the one with the roller skating guys, right? Or rollerblading guys,
Yes.
It has a guy
They're
rollerblading down the
skateboarding.
street with
but bazooka.
he gets shot by a bazooka.
Skateboarding gets shot by a bazooka. Yeah.
with the blow up doll.
Okay.
That's the skateboarder, and he does a handstand because he's an actual skateboarder. He's just like probably the ugliest, least known skateboarder who's the most affordable at that point in time.
Is this the one that has the line that if you go down on her?
Yeah. This has. So the best thing about this movie is not only, and it's all in rewatchability. It's all in rewatchability. But not only is there like weird stuff where like there are these like weird quips and weird jokes that the 2 women tell each other the whole time, and it's like this Fox Force 5 version of like what it is to be part of the agency. And they're both basically just khaki wearing, like boobsed out, like short shorts in cowboy boots. And they both just run around shooting people. And like one of them, I don't even think works for them technically. Like I think Taryn is technically a civilian.
Yeah, I actually found the synopsis. Here we go. In Hawaii, an undercover DA agent and her civilian friend stumble upon a drug trafficking operation and have to enlist the help of all the colleagues' friends to go after the vicious drug kingpin.
Meanwhile, motherfucking poisonous snake is running around the island killing folks for no reason.
No mention of the snake in the synopsis.
Yeah, because it's a fucking
climax. The friend has to show up at the end with the bazooka to kill it.
Yeah, and let that be a lesson to you. Watch Hard Ticket to Hawaii because you have to know what it looks like when a bazooka shoots a snake coming out of a toilet.
Yeah.
It's like there's this like really, really slow fight with the boss, the drug boss, and she goes, "Oh, it's over," and then she gets assaulted by the snake,
a toilet snake. Realistically, if we're just speaking,
it's the snake is like anaconda size snake.
It's absurd how big it is.
In size.
Yeah.
The scale is not. It's not consistent all the way through, I feel.
Yeah, the puppet is not the same puppet. It's definitely different.
It's like Lord of the Rings. You know, the ants change size, you know, for drama, as does the snake, you know.
Yes, little hobbit. It's just a crazy movie. It's worth watching with your friends. And they really do these weird things with the writing where they actually spent the time to like develop side characters like Ashley, who is the host of this place that they go to. The names are not really that important, but the thing about him that's important is he likes to do innuendos toward women that are beyond overt. And then he says, if you know what I mean. And to that, I would like to say what he says is, if you try to go down on her later, you'll be kissing the back of my head because I'll already be there, if you know what I mean. And it is a fantastic film. It's a fantastic movie. It's great to watch with friends. You can drink. There's plenty of drinking games. And it also opens up, you know, the whole thing, because after that is Picasso Trigger and then Savage Beach, where the same characters recur in these
the shared
weird
universe.
Sidaris movies, in the Sidaris verse, if you will.
Yeah. We could if we had a ticket to Hawaii, an actual ticket to Hawaii, we could shoot a better movie with our iPhones.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's the thing is, like, that's what kind of makes those movies so special in a way, is like there's so much effort put into it, and it is more about getting beautiful women to show their breasts than it is about making a movie.
Like the script is very clearly, like the characters say out loud what the screenwriter is thinking. Like when they're all back in the van at the end, you know, after they've had their big action scene, and they go, "Did anybody kill Seth?" That's the screenwriter saying out loud, "Did we kill Seth yet?" No. Let's go write that scene now.
Yes.
It's amazing. It really is. And like listening to them in their interviews and stuff, like there's this weird 80s swingers, cocaine, Miami couple just writing movies and trying to figure out how to capitalize on like their weird culture. It's in and of itself, it's a social study, but like beyond that, it's just a bunch of crazy ass movies, and like each leads you to the next, and each one is more crazy. I have found that for the female viewer, the beginning of his movies, so like Malibu Express, which is the first one in the Sidaris verse, is a little harder to watch because it's basically just horrid softcore porn.
I have not seen that one.
It's awful. It's so bad. It's not even as fun because it doesn't have the action that the other ones have. Like they have that budget where they're like, well, they still like built the shell of a helicopter, hung it, and then blew it up. Like that's cool.
Yeah.
Like
they're not
doesn't even have
expensive
that.
to get on Amazon. Like you get a hard ticket to Hawaii for like $12.
That's not bad.
I feel like Hard Ticket, Jim Cotta, the rest of those movies, like they're all around the same price point. It's like $10-$12. It's an easy purchase, and it's one that will definitely continue to pay off.
Yeah. In fact, it's a good like pass it along movie. Like, hey, I bought this for $10. I'm going to pass it along and then see where it ends up. It's like when we should actually do that experiment. Like, you know how when you write, hey, on the dollar bill, like check in on this website to see where this ended up. We should do that. Like give somebody our dick toy and see where it ends up.
Ends up in like a nursing home.
Marvin, what's your next pick?
Okay. So now everyone's used to watching some weird shit. So now that you've trapped them, let's get to something super weird. It's so weird that the only easy way to watch it is on YouTube. Have you heard of Wizard People Dear Reader?
Oh, dude, yes.
Okay. So I bring this up because Wizard People Dear Reader, for people who don't know, is allegedly, like, if you take it, at face value, a weird audiobook version of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And in fact, when my friend Dan and I first saw it, we were like, sure. And we just started listening to it. And then like about 10 minutes in, we realized this is supposed to be lining up with the movie. Mm-hmm. So there's YouTube versions where it actually has cut it up between the 35 chapters. And it's just this comic guy named Brad Neely. He's a comic book artist, and he's made a few shows for Adult Swim at this point as well. But it's just, he just has a lot of time on his hands and was just like, I'm going to just narrate over the events of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And basically, we're just going to re-examine the characters. So Harry Potter is now basically like Harry fucking Potter, who is drunk every day before noon.
Yeah. The destroyer of worlds.
A beautiful animal and a destroyer of worlds. Producing many a wine out of nowhere spell. Hermione is now the wretched Harmony. Snape is now a beautiful woman named Snake. Ronnie the bear, Harry Potter's number 2 man, loves Twizzlers. And if all of this sounds random to you, that's because it is. As it goes through, there's great moments where, because we listened up to the point where they call, I forget, I only remember the characters' names from the Wizard People Dear Reader renames. But who's the son of the Weasley, the people that adopt Harry Potter, like the Muggles? I forget
Dudley?
Dudley. Okay, so they call him Roast Beefy, right? And at one point we reached a point where they go, Ragtime Roast Beefy steals the letter. And when we were listening, we were like, why did they call him Ragtime Roast Beefy? And then when you watch it with the video, it's because he's perfectly wearing like a ragtime outfit.
Yeah.
And there's lots of things like that where Uncle Porkers, who's the uncle, when it
Vernon.
As it cuts to his face, it goes, his face is the worst. To a close-up of his face, and it really is the worst. And there's all sorts of fun things like that. Professor McGonagall is now Hardcastle McCormick. Voldemort is Valmart, and he's half Dracula, who moves like a marmalade baby just out of the womb. And it's stuff like this where now that you've indicted people into watching some bad shit with you, you're like, do you want to see some really bad shit? And it's like they had to, Brad had to construct this out of the board. I feel like he made this in a quarantine or something as well. Like, it's just so out there and random that it only makes sense when you're viewing it from a position of madness. And I should also preface that there's two versions of it. There's the original version, and then he re-recorded it when it got really popular, and it's actually started playing in like film festivals. And then I would say the first version is much more fun because it's clearly him like not performing as much. Like in the second one, he's like, oh, like it's like it's like watching a stand-up comic do his act again. You know, like exactly what's gonna happen. And he knows exactly what's going to happen. But the first version, there's great points where like he knows it's so stupid, he starts laughing uncontrollably in the middle of his own recording, and it makes for a great time. It's the type of thing where you've seen a lot of things already. Let's start watching this. Let's get a little high, and let's just see where it goes. My favorite joke is that Ravenclaw is renamed Viacom. But there's a lot of things he just sneaks in there randomly, and it's a good time once you've got people kind of hooked into this world of terrible movies. Get them hooked a little further, and then you can get them into some weirder shit.
And this is free. So like it's literally on YouTube. So
yeah, like it was taken down on YouTube so often, but then they kept going, nah, man, it's like public domain. Like it's a transformative piece of art. And then WB's like, God damn it, they're right. They put it back. I wish J.K. Rowling would one day comment on it, but I think to this day she has yet to even acknowledge its existence.
She's probably heard it.
She's probably horrified,
and she thinks it's fucking hilarious. That's why she can't talk about it.
Yeah. My next movie on the list is I mean, if you're gonna watch Hard Ticket to Hawaii, you might as well watch Cruel Intentions.
Well, why not?
Okay.
It's a weird movie.
It is very weird. You're right. Yeah. It's not exactly what you're expecting from the trailer.
Nope. It's got a very young Reese Witherspoon, Ryan Philippe, and Sarah Michelle Gellar. Look, I'm actually going to I'm going to say this is a good pick, but all the Ryan Philippe, Sarah Michelle Gellar movies are a go for watching with friends. I'm talking about I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I'm talking about the two sequels. What was another one that was part of that because they had it like a 10 movie marathon where they just kept working kind of together for a while.
I wouldn't know.
There's got to be like two. I think there's two other ones. I can't remember, but this one is kind of fun. It's dumb. It's mindless. You could literally hit play, get a drink, and you're not going to miss anything. It's two. Hopefully you've seen this, and this is just a rewatch. But if you haven't seen it, it's two vicious step siblings of an elite Manhattan prep school. They make a wager to the flower of the new headmaster's daughter before the start of the term. It's like your typical stupid high school movie where it's like the two dudes from the 80s that are going to try to sleep with a new girl, but it's two step siblings. It's what do you need?
One of them's a lady.
Yeah, one of them's a lady. Selma Blair's in this. Joshua Jackson is in this. Eric Mabus, Sean Patrick Thomas. It's just a stupid freaking movie. Oh, Tara Reid's in this. I forgot about that.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. It's like pre-super cocaine.
Charlie O'Donnell. Oh, I forgot how many people are in this movie, and it's so dumb. It's
funny because this movie tries to have it does a typical movie thing of oh, we were being shitty at first, but now we really want to turn it around, and you're like, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
You guys are such shitty people that I can't ever
awfulness that I've seen in this movie.
Yeah. There's no one who you root for, even Reese Witherspoon. I'm like, you're stupid. Why are you giving this guy a chance, dude?
Yeah. She's like, well, he seems genuine now.
Yeah. No, he's a piece of shit. This is a fun movie. It's the same director as Just Friends, and Just Friends is actually a fun movie. So check one of those movies out. It's gonna be a fun time, and it's gonna get awkward because there's a weird scene with Ryan Felipe and Sarah Michelle Gellar.
A very weird scene.
Yeah. But that's how you really test your friendships.
That's life with step ceilings, step siblings, step anythings. Whatever you have, that's a step.
That's good.
That's my pick. Marcel, what's your? Are we at
Fourth.
5?
Fourth.
4?
Fourth.
Okay, yeah.
It's 4. I mean, I can go
No, we're
anywhere
gonna do
with
5.
this. But
We're gonna do 5, dude.
we're gonna go all the way through. We're gonna do this thing.
Yeah.
All right. So, in terms of, we've done a lot of bad movies and we've done some reasonable movies and stuff, but I think what I would do is I would go with a great series of movies to watch with each other over whatever you have, as long as you're okay with violence, and plenty of it is the Hatchet series. The Hatchet series is a very weird series of horror movies. It kind of came out of nowhere, and the reason being that the first movie was this like hacky and very silly, low budget, and even being low budget still failed at the box office. It was a low budget horror movie, and the main like killer guy is played by Kane Hodder, who has been in tons of things. He was in like Monster and Daredevil. He's always played like that hulking giant character who like, is the imposing threat in a movie. And basically it's the Friday the 13th tropes. It's directed by a dude named Adam Green, I believe. It's written and directed by him, and he made this like weird bayou movie. And it's basically the Friday the 13th, like, there was a guy named Victor Crowley, and his dad locked him in the house or whatever because he was deformed, and then he died, and now he just haunts the swamp. And so there's a bunch of people who go on, and of course a couple of them are like wannabe Girls Gone Wild folks, and it basically just ends up being a bunch of stupid people go into the bayou, and the monster in the bayou, who is this deformed hulking maniac, just takes a hatchet to them all and dismembers them in very goofy and silly, like over the top ways. It's all very tongue in cheek. And the second movie is actually one of the only movies to ever be released by the AMC as unrated. And it was released for 12 hours, I believe, before they pulled it. The sequel to Hatchet, being Hatchet 2, was released. It was only at AMC's, interestingly, and it was so gory and kind of irritating to people that they were like, this is why we only release rated movies. I get it. And they vowed never to do it again. But they're really fun. They're over the top. They're violent. They're stupid. There's buckets of blood. You can play all kinds of drinking games. You can enjoy yourself in all kinds of different ways. And to sell you on any of this, in the second movie, there is literally a moment where the two people who are going to get down to business in the bayou, in the backwoods, they're going to go down and have some bing bangs on each other, if you will. And they start. And the girl gets a little extra oomph after the dude who's behind her doggy style gets decapitated and his body starts convulsing. And blood goes all over her, and she's like, "Whoa, that's a lot of juice." And she turns around, and it's a headless corpse that's just fucking her, and it is bananas. It's bananas, and it's fun, and it's just crazy. Honestly, have either of you guys seen these movies?
I have not. I actually hadn't heard of it till you brought it up. Honestly,
that's amazing. I mean, they're a weird phenomenon. They're one of those, like, the Fangoria Con, I'm sure, and like Comic-Con always has, some version of like some person from one of the movies.
I'm reading about it now for the Hatchet 2, and now I remember this. Yes, there was like a controversy about it, like mysteriously disappearing from theaters, even though it had gotten a wide release despite not having a rating and stuff like that.
And so the weirdest part to me is Perry Shen, who is like, he's kind of a bit player. I think I only know him probably like he's in Snowpiercer. He's done a hell of a lot of voice work.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually on his IMDb been in 69 things.
Nice.
It's the magic number. But he plays like this dude, and he plays the tour guide of the group, who's like this old Southern crazy kind of bayou man, but he's this little Asian guy, and I know him because he's the main character, Ben from Better Luck Tomorrow, which is Justin Lin's first movie before he started doing all the Fast and Furious stuff. So it was really funny to see him in that role. Because he does the two things. He does like a weird Bayou impression, and then he does like a weird Asian stereotype impression in the same movie as the same character. And then I think he returns, if I'm not wrong, as his own brother in one of the future sequels.
That's efficient.
But like they're really bananas, and they're worth watching because they have the charm of the like Friday the 13th slasher, just people doing stupid things, running around a place they shouldn't be, looking for trouble, and then getting like brutally murdered. And it just does it in such like a tongue-in-cheek, loving ode to horror way that it feels not only appropriate, but it's just a lot of fun.
Cool.
How many are there?
There are 3. The third one is not as good. The third one was like when they realized what they were doing and then they leaned into it instead of being like, it's it's my litmus test. It's that thing. It's like, the first 2 movies are this genuine kind of like love letter to over the top splatterpunk horror cinema, and then the third one ends up being the like, oh, people are into this, cool.
Well, also
let's just
my last
into it.
movie was pulled from theaters, so let's try to get it in theaters, probably.
Exactly.
To some extent. Did you know of the 4th?
Yeah, so he like surprise released it at like South by or something, right?
I guess so. Yeah, and
it's called like Victor Crowley.
Yeah, he's doing
Victor or something.
He's doing like a modern thing and like a Brambo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called just Victor Crowley, and I guess that was only like 3 years ago or something. Yeah,
it is. It's weird that I never saw it, but like after seeing Hatchet 3, I was kind of like, all right, I don't know that there's probably that much to this. But like, you know what? Honestly, at this point, I'm ready to go. Like I'll zoom
people
Victor Crowley.
From what I'm reading here, people are saying it's the best of the 4.
It's the best of the best.
Yeah. Best of best.
With honors. Holy shit. Perry Shen is back as another character in it.
That's good. That's what you want. You want that.
You think they're triplets?
Who knows? There's also a dude in it named Dave Sheridan playing with a beautiful mullet, Ricardo. This is a mullet that would even bring you to tears, I think.
Oh.
Interesting. Tyler Mane is in it, who is also known for like playing Michael Myers, and he played Sabretooth in the. I think he played. All right, let me just double check myself, but I'm pretty sure he played Sabretooth in the X-Men movies.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
He did.
The OG ones. Yeah.
Did he? Was he a wrestler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. All right, fucking, you got 4 Hatchet movies to go through now. There you go.
Look at that. Look at that.
What's your next pick, Marvin?
Okay, so now that you've gotten your friends into the world of terrible movies, you gotta test your friendship.
Oh, you have to,
and you gotta know
every time
if this will last. Like, you've had some good times, but will they be with you for the bad? Right. So that's when you put on Double Down by Neil Breen. And I choose Double Down because Neil Breen has a wide selection of awful movies.
Wide.
Very wide. Very wide. But the reason I choose Double Down is because it's the hardest to watch. You watch, especially more, should I say, in quotes, modern Neil Breen. The laughs come a mile a minute. Like they're very funny, I should just say, in that I think he's sort of given in, and he'll just sort of just go, fuck it. I'm just going to green screen myself jumping off of a building as it explodes, and see if I'm going to take the stock footage of these soldiers and green screen myself in front of it and say, "Follow me, I know the way out," and then play the footage. But Double Down, I think, is back when he was still trying. And as we all know, these so bad it's good movies are at their best when the filmmakers are completely sincere and they're trying their best.
Yeah. 100%.
And Double Down is that. Let me just explain, like, allegedly what Double Down is about. So Double Down, Neil Breen plays Neil Breen, who is some sort of super agent hacker man who lives in Las Vegas. And he has memories of like a dead wife and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, he's going to attack Las Vegas with a terrorist attack, with something like anthrax or something. But it's unclear exactly how. I guess he's just going to put like, there's a scene where he pours like a little bit of it in the water system, but it's like, I feel like that will filter out or get it's diluted. There's a lot of water. He puts like half a can worth. I mean, it might cause some upset tummies. I'm not exactly sure what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And it's just scene after scene of him praising himself. Like, I can hack anything, anywhere, at any time. It's like this voiceover of that overlaid with footage of him tying a DirecTV satellite dish to his car and typing on laptops that are clearly broken.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen any of his movies.
Oh, well. Okay.
This is the way to do it. This is the way to do it.
Double Down if you're watching it to test someone's friendship, this is the one to watch. If you're watching it if you want to definitely have a good time, like, this definitely gonna have a good time, watch like Pass Through or like Twisted Pair. Like, those are like way funnier. Double Down, it's like a fever dream. A lot of people overuse the term fever dream. I truly mean this is like a fever dream, because as you're watching it, none of the scenes connect together at all. It'll be like a scene of him going, "I've won all of the medals, Purple Heart, Medal of Honor, Valorous Intent," and then it hard cuts to a shot of him like rubbing like anthrax on someone's shoulder as he's walking past them and going, "Excuse me." And I honestly don't remember. I've seen this movie 3 times. The first time was by myself, which is a terrible mistake. You have to watch it with someone. And then I forced my friend Dan to watch it with me. I went over to his house and he was like, "Oh, let's watch something fun while you're here." And I was like, "Let's watch Double Down." and I forced him to watch this. By the end, we were both incredibly depressed, but we were still friends. That's how I know our friendship is true. And but to this day, Dan and I actually don't remember how this movie ends. We watched it. I watched it again one more time with someone else, but it's just like, I don't understand why things happen the way they do. There's like, I think he finds a rock that he thinks cures cancer in the middle of Las Vegas. And there's a scene where he thinks people, like someone is like a secret agent that tries to attack his car. But like he suddenly collapses and dies, and he goes, "The force field got him because I was smart enough to know he's coming." And then there's a scene where he just has 2 guns akimbo and are just shooting at things, but they're off screen, and you don't know what he's shooting at. And then there's a scene where he's driving down the freeway, and he is eating a can of tuna as he's driving down the freeway. and there's a shot, and it cuts to a shot where it shows us like hundreds of cans in the passenger seat. So he's been doing this for a while, and then he almost gets into a car accident because he's so focused on eating his tuna. And that's Double Down.
Oh my god, dude!
It's over an hour and 30 minutes long of this, and you watch it and you go, "I guess this is funny," but it's so wildly varied but yet not, because it's all in a Las Vegas landscape. So it's just desert. And you're just going like, I don't understand why this movie is doing things the way it's doing it. And it is a test to watch it. Like, there are people who like watch, there's some funny movies where you watch it, like Puma Man, where you're like, okay, we're all waiting for the flying scene as you're watching Puma Man. And once you reach it, you go, okay, we can probably stop now. But but Double Down, there's never that moment of like ecstatic climax. You're just watching the whole time and going, something's gonna happen. And things do happen, but they're so out of the blue that you can't believe it's happening this way. And that's Double Down.
This I was watching the trailer for what is it? Twisted
Pair.
Yeah. Oh man, that looks
it's
crazy,
amazing.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah. He loves himself so much. He created 2 versions of himself.
Holy shit! One with a fake ass mustache.
Yeah.
I gotta watch these. You know what? While you were talking about this movie, I was thinking of like just crazy movies that when you discover them, you're like, oh my god, where have I been? Why haven't I seen this movie? Have you guys ever seen a movie called The American Astronaut?
I have not. No.
Watch the trailer. It's very fucking interesting and crazy and weird. It's a very odd movie. It's very. I'll leave it at that. I'll move over to my pick. We're at 4, I think, right?
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
So yours was to finish off your pick. Yours was Double Down, which is his first movie, right?
I don't think so. Actually,
it says that on IMDb. So unless he didn't credit himself as.
It might actually be his like first. I'm really gonna be really like be serious about this filmmaking sort of thing.
So it's Double Down for you. My next pick is from 1989. Oh man, where to start with this movie? I'll just yell it out. I won't yell it out. I'll politely say it.
Sing it.
End of Days.
Yes. Oh hell yeah! Oh man,
yes,
that is a fun watch when it comes on TNT in the middle of the night.
Yeah. I'll give you the quick pitch. At the end of the century, Satan visits New York in search of a bride. It's up to an ex-cop who now runs an elite security outfit to stop him. That's all you really need to know. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger fighting Satan with fucking guns.
Yeah,
that's it.
But Satan is Gabriel Byrne, right?
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger versus Satan.
Yeah.
Yep.
This movie. Oh man, there's so much.
Doesn't it have Kevin Pollak in it? I feel like it's got a big
cast. Yeah. So it's Gabriel Byrne, Robin Tooney, Kevin Pollak, Udo Kier is in this.
Udo Kier.
Yeah. Wow.
Mark Margopoulos, you recognize, he's a character actor. He's in a bunch of like, he plays the Italian mobster in every movie.
Yeah, and he's Ace Ventura's landlord.
Yeah. Rod Steiger playing like this crazy like father, like priest. Sorry, Father Kovac. It's a nutty fucking movie because it's
the craziest looking devil you see in a movie for a while. Like when he.
Yeah, definitely, dude. It's directed by Peter Heim, who directed like Outland, Time Cop. He's just done a bunch of stuff, and he does not disappoint. This movie is bonkers. It's just the fact that Arnold, he had gotten to the point in his career where he's like, look, I did Batman and Robin. I did that. I did it. There's no coming back. And this script showed up on his desk. They're like, hey, dude, do you want to fucking fight the devil, dude? And Arnold was like, I do. Do you want to fight the devil?
This is just like, I swear, didn't Peter Hyams also do The Musketeer that came out like 2 years after? It was like this weird, like, it was a kung fu-ish like retelling of Three Musketeers.
Are you
like there's like a lot of fucking wire work.
Yes, 100%. And it stars Tim Roth, right?
Yeah. Tim Roth is in it. I think like Mina Suvari was in it, and like Stephen Rea, and I don't remember anybody else.
Yeah. It's like a weird it's like it's not like martial arts. It's just a lot of wire work.
Yeah, it's a lot of wire work. It's just like
Yeah.
it's swashbuckling, but like he floats sometimes, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's a movie. He did that.
I'm glad. Did he actually do that? That's awesome.
He directed it. Yeah,
man. Because like he went. It's funny because I feel like the beginning of his career was all Van Damme. It was like Van Damme heavy.
Yeah, it was like Time Cop, like Sudden Death.
Yeah.
Oh, Time Cop.
Yeah. And he did like some dramas, and then he just he just dipped into this crazy world of like, I just want to do some action movies where like I don't even know what the fuck. I'm just gonna do shit and let's see what sticks to the wall.
At this point of his career, so like, sadly, Arnold was already like on his way out of like the blockbusters, and I think I forget what was the last movie he did before he moved over to like politics, but I want to say it was Terminator 3, right? Or like Around the World in 80 Days.
It was one of those because like it was around that time when like
because he did the cameo for the Rundown, and he was the governor already.
Yeah. Because like he's in the beginning. Yeah.
So this is like the beginning of the end because we have this. Eraser was a couple years before that, but we have this. We have the 6th Day, Collateral Damage, and
Collateral Damage.
Yeah. You know what? Any of those 3 movies, it's going to be a good time. Collateral Damage, The 6th Day, or and the Days.
Dude.
It's a beautiful movie.
The 6th Day is double Arnold though. Like you can double down on the Arnold.
Yeah. It's like the multiplicity of Arnold movies.
But like you can't afford too many Arnolds because it'll just start tearing up the world. Like it'll just disappear. So you can only have 2 of them.
Yeah.
Because of the names, like End of Days and the 6th Day, in my mind, I always like blend them, even though they're very different.
Yeah.
Like I think of that poster of Arnold with the in 6th Day with he's got those like light goggles on or something in the poster.
Yeah, whatever the hell that is. It's always stuck in my head. It's like, what the fuck is that even a poster of?
Yeah, and then I think End of Days.
They like suck his like essence through his eyes or something, don't they?
Yeah. I don't even remember. I've seen it a bunch of times because it's an Arnold movie, and like I don't know. I feel like every time I've seen Michael Rappaport in Amoeba, which is a weird common occurrence, I've always been like, I want to ask him about this movie. Like, how'd you end up in that shit? Like, what happened, man?
He's got to have some great like behind the scenes stories, man.
Yeah. Definitely.
So that's my pick. On to the last round of movies. Marcel, take it away.
All right, so I'll dial it back. I've gone, with the crazy violence. We've gone with nudity. We've gone with, crazy sex and all kinds of weird shit for you to watch with your friends. I think that a great thing, and this is something that you can mix. You can drink around your kids. You're all quarantined. Who gives a shit at this point? But a personal favorite of mine, and one that I constantly am trying to introduce people to, because it's weirdly a movie that kind of was overshadowed. And I think a lot of that is just because Sony Animation has done some good stuff, but it just doesn't get the kind of exposure that I think it deserves. And it's Phil Lord and Chris Miller's Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Oh, I love that movie. Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's a really good adaptation of a kid's book that doesn't really have any actual content. Like, I mean, I read my kid this book and she loves the movie, but like the content of it is it's thin. It's just like you're just developing a world in which, it rains food and then shit goes bad. There isn't a lot to it other than that, but like the movie it's multi-layered. There's a lot of stuff. There's a father-son dynamic that's really touching. There's a lot of really funny comedy to it. There's a monkey named Steve who just has a helmet on him that literally reads his thoughts, and most of those thoughts are Steve, and it's voiced by none other than the very, very talented and very sought after Neil Patrick Harris.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just got a crazy voice cast. Andy Samberg's in it, and James Caan plays Flint Lockwood's dad. Flint Lockwood is Bill Hader. It's just a really cool, really crazy, fun animated movie, and it has a crazy amount of drinking games to play with it for a children's movie. And it's one of those things that you can legitimately enjoy on the level of it being goofy, on the level of it being kind of bad, on the level of it being really funny, on the level of it being stupid, and being able to share with your kids, being able to share with other people. It's a Zoom movie that you can watch with your kid and other people's kids. And, you can have a drink in the background that they don't know that you're enjoying. I mean, anytime you see a rat bird, you take a drink. There are a lot of rules. In fact, if you play by all of the rules, you won't make it into the movie that far because there's so many times to drink. But it's just this crazy, funny, very colorful, silly movie. And it's really high up there for me. Like, it was before Chris Miller or Phil Lord and Chris Miller became what they are with, like,
they blew up and they're
producing
like critically
Spider-Verse
acclaimed.
Yeah, exactly, like the Lego Movie and all
but
that
the
stuff.
roots
Like,
of all of that is there,
knew.
like, because it's smart for such a simple premise. It's so smartly written. Like they took it and expanded it. And one thing that I think Lord and Miller do really well is that even with a cast like a wide varied cast, like he draws out they draw out extremely good performances. Like, I think this was the first time I've heard Anna Faris in a type of performance like that, and I was like, she did a really great job in this movie. And it's like, I don't know if actually I've seen a better performance since where she
absolutely. And like, I mean, same thing, like Mr. T shows up and gives his like A game to this, he's just a cop.
Yeah.
He just loves his son. He loves his son so much. And it's like,
it works.
It's just, it's crazy and it's weird and it's kooky. And the even crazier thing is, like, having read the book so many times to my own kid, when you're watching it, you get this weird, like, nostalgia for the book because they hit those moments right on the nose and they're not all at the forefront. It's not that, like, it's not that Rogue One stopped the movie to have a reference thing, or like that like Stan Lee cameo. It's like, it's just mixed in and you're like, oh, that's that frame from the book. Like, that's so crazy that it's just, there's a montage and like it just snuck right in there. And like the whole book is still there. It's just a different story that's actually cohesive. That's not just like, there was once a town that had food fall from the sky and it got bad and they left. The end.
I've never seen this one. I've seen all their movies except this one.
It's really good. And it's very weird to say that because, like, I was definitely way past the age of it being something that I would seek out. And I ended up seeing it weirdly I think it was at the end of college or like after college. I ended up seeing it on Ninja Video, which was like this weird, they were basically streaming torrents. And it was this very short-lived thing. And I was so bummed that I didn't get to see it in a theater in 3D and like really enjoy it. And I ended up just like buying it afterward and I've continually showed it to like as many people as I can. Because it's just one of those like kind of special movies that most people will write it off as just silly animated garbage. And then other people will just be like, yeah, but like, who cares? But it is it plays universally. And it's really, 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 really fun.
I mean, when I first saw this, it was actually at a drive-in with some friends, and then it was a double feature, and the first was Jennifer's Body, and then we watched it and we were like, boy, that was bad. Let's just watch Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. It's right next to it. and then we were like, what a great way to end the night. You couldn't get two more different movies, but it's like, it's funny how like this Jennifer's Body, where it's like it was trying to like not take itself seriously, but it was supposed to be like a look how, because Diablo Cody was super hot at the time, so they were like, look at this smartly written thing she's made. I remember like there was like an IO9 article talking about that, and then I was like, no, it's not. This is awful. and then you watch Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, like that's a good script. Like that actually kind of comes together really well, and it's a lot of fun.
I don't like Diablo Cody's movies.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Young adult was kind of okay. It was all Patton Oswalt like saving the movie, and I mean she put amazing. She puts on amazing performances. Charlize Theron does, but
Yeah.
I think it doesn't. It like she's way above the writing. I think.
Yeah, I mean there was
so.
also that period of time where she was just kind of like doing stuff that was like it was like To Live and Die in the West or whatever, and it was like
United States of Terror,
young adult. There was
yeah.
a bunch of weird movies that she did where it was like, Charlize is a movie star, and the rest of this is just not firing.
Yeah,
100%.
Where are we at, Marvin?
Yeah. So for my last one, now that your friendships have been tested, let's bring it back because we gotta build bridges again. And nobody builds bridges better than Jackie Chan, nor jumps over them.
That's true. That's true.
And to me, I think like the thing is, you can go classic. You can go like Police Story. You can Drunken Master, etc. But if you want to go Gonzo, it's a movie we've all watched together. And it's Bleeding Steel.
Yes, I thought you were gonna say that, and I'm glad you said that.
The thing about Bleeding Steel is that this is everything the movie plus Jackie Chan. This is like I've never seen a movie try to fit so many tries to fit. Let's put it together. Police Story, The Matrix, Star Wars, like general sci-fi tropes about cyborgs and mechanical hearts, comedy at like a magician act, evil lady who has like hidden powers, father daughter, like father secretly tailing daughter growing up plot, and like comedy, young sidekick is actually going to hook up with his daughter plot. And I guess the plot of the movie is
I'm interested to hear you say this because I am still not sure exactly how to say what this is.
The plot of the movie is there's something about I don't quite remember or understand maybe, but like this young lady has a mechanical heart. And Darth Revan wants it. And Jackie Chan needs to stop him. Yeah. And Jackie Chan's a secret agent. And and that's it, really. Some other young guy shows up, but that's and like it's like they threw money at this movie. Like there's a scene where they're on top of that famous opera house in Australia.
Yeah, it's in the Opera House.
Yeah, and it's just like they have a fight scene on top of that, and they actually shot there. You can tell. And it's like, but the movie also starts off in like the most like Asian way ever, where it's like a very serious Jackie Chan is like he's like risking life and limb to see his daughter who's about to die in surgery because she's suffering from leukemia, and then right as he's about to arrive, he gets a call. And it's the Hong Kong FBI going, "We need you right now, special agent. There's a problem." And he's like, "Duty calls," and he abandons his daughter.
I'm going to read you the IMDb synopsis. A special forces agent is assigned to protect a scientist and his creation from a sinister gang. That's like that's just scratching the surface of what this movie is.
That's not even the surface. Yeah. That's like the light reflecting off of the edges. There's a fucking Star Destroyer in this movie.
Yeah. There's so much in this movie. I feel like someone was writing this movie and then they're like, I'm kind of stuck in like the opening. I just have the opening. It's bonkers. Yeah. And then like they're like, dude, it turns out that the producers are going to give us money, but we have to start tomorrow. And he's like, dude, I have 10 scripts. I just put them all together. Done.
I imagine to write. Have you guys seen My Name Is Dolomite? Or Dolomite is my name. I should say.
Yeah.
You know that the scene where he's talking with the writer and he goes, "But there's got to be like an exorcism in it. And like, that's what I imagine a producer sitting with the writer and saying, okay, it's Jackie Chan as a cop, but it's got to have cyborgs and a spaceship and like robots and like nanomachines and shit.
It's a mix of that and the Key and Peele Gremlins 2 sketch. Like that's what it is.
What do you want in this? What do you want in this movie?
Yeah,
what do you want? Cyborgs. It's in. What do you want in this? Well, like a father and like daughter got really done. It's in.
Yeah,
it's in the movie.
I want Star Wars in there.
I really like Star Wars, but we can't. It's
it literally,
in the movie.
It literally seems like he had 10 scripts, and he was like, "But I don't really have a bad guy to like tie this whole thing together." Yeah. He was like, my kids want to watch Clone Wars," and he was just sitting there with his hands on the side of his face, and he was like, "What the fuck? Who are these Inquisitors in the movie?" And
you know what's the craziest part about this movie? It's something I recently learned, like a week ago. In Japan, Bleeding Steel is technically part of the Police Story series.
No
what? That shines an entirely different light on the whole thing.
Imagine the progression, right? You watch the first Police Story, which, just to quickly summarize, is he's just a great cop. Right?
Who doesn't care about rape at all? Like women who get raped is just a joke in the movie.
Yeah.
And like an uncomfortable joke, but still.
Yeah, and then like the whole movie is him just the whole first 3 movies is him just clearing his name of a crime, right? And it progresses from him being this great cop all the way to Bleeding Steel, where he's a super agent fighting like Sith lords.
So the end song too is an updated version of the one in Police Story as well.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
No shit.
That's amazing.
Because First Strike is also a Police Story, right?
I think so.
It's
some
connected.
Yeah, but like,
so this is like his return to Australia. Like that character of Jackie returning. Is he Jackie in this? He's not though, right? Like,
well, this is the thing. Depending on how Police Story was translated, they either just called him Jackie or they were just like,
his character is credited as Lin Dong.
Yeah, I was gonna say because that's what he is in Police Story, like the ones that we have now that like they've gone back and they've remastered. Like his name is like Kakui, I think it's like Chang Kakui,
like Kevin sometimes, but like I think he's like called Kakui-chan or something like that.
Yeah,
or
that's him. Like it's crazy that like that's. I don't know. You never know, but that's like drawing that line is fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
I love how the Japanese distributor was like, "This is in. We are drawing from the Police Story pedigree."
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It's got to be some sort of gangster that was like, "I have a lot of money to like, I have to launder this money." How much money can you put in a movie? And they're like, well, we can put a Death Star in it, maybe. I think. How much money can you give us for that? And he's like, $20 million. He's like, it's done. We got it.
He's like, well, not a Death Star. It'll just be like a small Star Destroyer. How about that?
Done.
And they're like, fucking, who cares?
Yeah.
In
you
the
want
movie.
cyborgs? It's in. You want a guy who's got a weird like blue face? It's in. It's in. Whatever you need, it's in.
Want cybernetic kung fu lady? Yeah. Do you want kung fu hustle style humor? That's in there too.
I'm gonna finish off this round with another kung fu movie. It's a modern movie. I mean, not as modern as Bleeding Steel, but I think it's a modern American classic. It's got the son
exactly
of a very legendary man. Rapid Fire.
Oh,
Rapid fucking fire, dude. It's with
beautiful.
Brandon Lee. Bruce
one of my
Lee's
favorites.
Son. It stars Powers Booth. Really, that's really the only. Well, there's a bunch of guys like character actors that you would know, but Rapid Fire is just a badass movie. It's just a badass movie. It came out in 92. It was this, and then Brandon Lee did this, and then The Crow, and that was it, right? Like those were the two, the peak. I mean,
the Crow he couldn't really finish, and then
he was on his way.
He was
on his way up. Like this was his like his springboard, where it was like, oh fuck, this guy can really do it. And then because it was also Showdown in Little Tokyo, which almost made my list because I love it so much for its homoeroticism. And like he was just making it, and this was the like show of force where it was like, this guy can do what his dad can do.
Yeah.
And he's got the charisma.
He can act, like he's like a legitimately good actor. Like he can act, he can fight, and he's got charisma, and he would have done a lot of things, dude. I think he was just in the beginning of it. But this is really well done, I think. So basically the pitch is a student witnesses like a murder killing, and he's like caught up between like this feud with like these two drug lords, but also like crooked cops who frame him for like a murder. And like, so like there's cops after him, there's drug lords, and he's kind of in the middle of everything. And the guy who's kind of like his father figure, he becomes his father figure, is Powers Booth. That's all you need. Powers Booth in anything, dude.
Yeah.
Any Booth. It's just a fun movie.
Yeah.
Half the movie he's wearing a tank top for no reason. He's like, I just gotta fucking wear a tank top.
Well, it's the fucking 90s.
Yeah. I mean, there's that sweet move when he like someone's holding him like hostage, and then he like does a backflip over them, and it's just, there's some badass moves in this movie. I really enjoy this movie.
A lot of breakable tables and chairs. Yeah, lots of people getting hit through things. Yeah, it's a nice length. I think. Like, isn't that movie like an hour and a half? Basically, like it's just kind of a solid. Like it's an easy watch.
It is. An hour and 35 minutes.
Boom.
It's very digestible, and also the funny thing about the last fight scene in the bar, when he's wearing the wire. Well, that's not the last fight scene. The last fight scene is in the warehouse, but the second to last fight scene, the second to last set piece, he's fighting two gangs in this bar with no guns. Well, he uses a gun here and there, but he's mostly just fucking karate chopping the shit out of them, dude.
Yeah,
doing an amazing job.
Isn't the tagline for the movie? No, not isn't. I know what the tagline is. It's unarmed and extremely dangerous, right? Yeah, like that's just like 100%. It's rapid fire, unarmed and extremely dangerous. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it is like the height of, that's like 92, I think.
92. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's like the height of that, just that style too, and like it pushes the envelope, and I think that the style of that movie is pushed because of him going in and being like, look, we can sell this better than I think you guys are set to do.
Yeah, I mean, like he had the skill to back it, like much like Bruce Lee, where they were like, we have to shoot at a faster speed to like kind of catch up with some of the stuff he's doing. Like you can like how, in certain action movies, you can tell some of the participants just like aren't like good at it.
Yeah.
And then you see the confidence the whole time as you're watching him, like, because like the Bruce Lee makes the sidekick famous, and then he employs that almost like as a signature in this movie, and it's great, like because it's like such a simple move, but it's really he does it really cleanly, just from a martial arts perspective. Like you have to, like, to make a sidekick look really good, you gotta have the balance but also know how to do the thrust really well. Yeah. And, it's kind of like Bruce Lee's specialty, and, he inherited it, and it's great. And
yeah. This is the same director this director did Halloween 4.
Oh, okay.
And then he did Marked for Death with one Steven Seagal. And then he did this. And then Free Willy 2, which is great. Follow up to the
Free Willy 2 is the rapid fire of fucking whale movies, honestly. Yeah. And totally. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah. And that really, so he did Free Willy 2. He did Murder at 1600. And then his last like big movie was Anaconda's The Hunt for
Blood Orchid or whatever it is.
Is that a sequel to Anaconda?
Yeah.
Okay.
There are orchids out here this big.
Yeah. And then he just did TV. He's like, I'm going to TV. That's where the money's at. Little responsibility, a lot of money. Yeah, that rounds up
did the
my
Tekken movie?
my list.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I've watched the Tekken movie. Oh boy!
Yeah. Any honorable mentions before we sign off?
I was gonna talk about Dracula 3000 at one point, but then I thought it's a little too gonzo. It's a little too sleazy. If you want to watch Dracula 3000. Go for it, but just go in knowing that it kind of like falls apart in terms of like you could see where they really gave up, and they just let Coolio do whatever he wanted to do.
The two of mine that hit the cutting room floor were the Bill and Ted series because they're on Prime. And it's like, where it's shit is weird and it's rough. And like, what's better than watching a movie with an ultimately positive outlook? And I mean, Keanu didn't make my list, which I am both proud of him for because a lot of my movies were generally shitty, but also sad about because I fucking love Keanu so much. And I think my other one that like, it was really hard for me not to throw in, but since we went as gonzo as we did, like Zardoz is like, it's hard to fucking watch. It really is, but it's also kind of amazing in how genuinely hard to watch it is and how weird the whole thing is. It
actually gets like easier to watch the more you watch it. So that's what I recommend. After you finish watching Zardoz, watch it again right away.
My only honorable mention is a movie from 1998. It is Hard Rain.
Dude,
with one Christian Slater, Morgan Freeman, Randy Quaid. Look, there's an armored truck guy, and he's.
I don't remember this movie at all.
Look, this is a good double feature.
We gotta get on it, man.
Yeah, dude. This is actually a good double feature with what's a movie with the hurricanes and Toby
Chain
Kebbell?
Reaction.
Toby Kebbell.
Hurricane Heist.
Hurricane Heist and Hard Rain. Good double feature.
Okay.
Yeah. Hurricane Heist, I didn't hate. Like I went in thinking like this is gonna be horrible, and I was like, this isn't bad. I'm in. So yeah, double feature, Hard Rain, Hurricane Heist, beautiful movies.
Nice. Awesome.
And then if you want to go for a triple feature, you want to throw some Toby Kebbell in there. You go Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I feel like all the Planet of the Apes movies, they're really depressing.
They are fucking hard to like.
Shit.
Yeah.
I put one on the other day and I was like, this is not the time. This is not it.
There's a lot of movies now where we're like, this is not the time.
Yeah, like I wanted to talk about Train to Busan, but I was like, it's a zombie movie and like it's fun, but it's also just too well done and it's fucked up.
Yeah.
Did you guys feel the earthquake right now?
Oh no.
Is it right now?
Yeah. Like literally like
I didn't. Oh.
A couple minutes, like maybe like now it's been like a minute.
Oh.
Yeah, it was an earthquake. It was an earthquake.
Oh dang. Dramatic.
Well, let's finish this off so we could enjoy the earthquake.
A 3.1 off Mammoth Lakes. Is that the one we're talking about?
Probably.
Maybe.
So see, I don't know what to believe anymore because earlier I thought I felt an earthquake. I looked it up and I was like, nothing happened. It's just my body is weird apparently.
Well, it's funny because like I felt it. I'm like, is it me? Am I moving weird? Am I standing in a weird position? And then my wife just came out and she was like, what was that noise? I was like, oh, it's an earthquake.
Oh. Yeah, Sarah just ran into my room and was like, is it an earthquake?
It's not going again. So, all right. Well, anyway, we'll give out our quick links. We're going to leave this in there just for the sake of marking this occasion.
Yeah, they'll know we reported it first.
Yeah. A day later. Anyway, follow us on Instagram. Did I cut anybody off? Did anybody have any more recommendations?
I'm good.
No, okay. Follow us on Instagram. That's the easiest way to get a hold of us, or Twitter, at the Film Podcast. You could tweet us, direct message us, any suggestions for list. Again, if you have a comment or concern, type it up and I won't read it. I don't. If it starts off with I can you no if it's a list recommendation, anything like that, I'll read it. Surprisingly, I've only gotten very few like complaints, so thank you, but I don't need them. Follow us there, and then follow Fugitive Games.
Yep.
Did I get that right this time?
Yep. On YouTube.
On YouTube. Yep.
Where me and my friend Dan do Let's Plays of videos and sometimes reviews and discussions and stuff of video
What
games.
is the current episode right now? Or we should promote the episode coming out this next round.
Well, right now. Well, it's like the Let's Plays come out on a rolling basis, but right now we are going through Batman Arkham City, and also Trials of Mana, because we're being huge hipsters and not playing Final Fantasy VII Remake like everyone is. We're playing Trials of Mana instead. And then we just had a review of The Outer Worlds versus Fallout New Vegas come out. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Stay tuned. We're going to do another Canon Film episode series of that series. And what else? Anything else? Any other business? Anything, Marcel, you want to plug or anything? Any website that you're a fan of? Just not Pornhub?
You know, guys, you gotta get that Pornhub membership. I was told tonight that I didn't have one, and I feel like I should probably register for one.
The good people at Pornhub giving out free porn for the quarantine.
They're for the quarantine. It's it's cool. Check out Shudder if you're into horror stuff. I've had it recommended a bunch, and I've started watching some stuff on there, and it's interesting. There's actually some pretty cool stuff.
There's a
lot of it is that horror stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, those are the things that I think are really interesting. And then there's a lot of like Fangoria original type things where you're like, all right, cool. Horror buffs are really going to love this. But I think we've got a lot of cool shit like that.
Especially right now, because like everybody's doing extended like trial periods.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the websites that's doing it. Like, you can do that. You can do Quibi if you want to try watching stuff on your phone. Though I heard that they didn't. I mean, who would have foreseen this? But they're now going to start rolling out a like console version of the app, so you could watch it on your TV now.
Yeah, vertical movies on your widescreen TV.
Yeah.
Biggity bang.
You can watch them both ways. You can watch it both ways.
It's like, it's fascinating as an idea. I'd like to see if they're really going, because there are certain things where you like experimental films, when you do it vertically, they can be like really interesting. So I'd like to see if they actually, like, some Facebook's had some series that come out that actually take advantage of the vertical format. So you're like, okay, maybe they can do something with it. It's still hard to watch, but maybe if they embrace it fully, you can do something with it. But
yeah, there was that movie like a couple years ago. It was a black and white. I want to say it was a Dutch movie, Ada or something like that, or it was like a one name. It was like this like nun in a convent. It was black and white. They used like weird aspect ratio, and it worked. I loved it.
I think you're thinking of a Ghost Story that was shot and formatted for Instagram.
Yeah, Ghost Story Square. Yeah.
It's another movie. Gus Van Sant likes to do that too. So anyway, find us where tell a friend, rate us, even if it's, here's the thing, even if it's a bad review, rate us on iTunes. It just helps the old numbers,
the metrics.
It helps us. Come on,
just cite me as the reason. I think that's okay.
It doesn't matter. Look, positive, negative, as long as you're putting in a review, it's gonna kick us up a notch to the next level. Whether it's good or bad, doesn't matter.
And we appreciate you taking the time anyway.
Yeah. You know what? If you write me a comment or you have a concern, I appreciate it that you took the time to write me and say that I'm a piece of shit. But I know that already. So thank you. Hey, until next time, have a good week. Bye.
Bye.